Hello everyone, I'm Kronos. Welcome to another video. And so I figured I'm gonna make it outside. I was given more criticism about that in a productive way, and I was told that outside is so much better. Uh, can you hear the birds? Like the energy is different, and it feels like it's so much better. We talked about this, and we're gonna talk about it a lot. But look at this! I found this like nice spot, as you can see, so that you can have something to look at, I guess. So I'm gonna continue off where we left. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about in this video, but I did say I was gonna give an example of, with my ex-girlfriend about the we talked about criticism and how you and how we I was told that like the music, for example, is could be boring and it could feel like and you might fall asleep during the video, and how I take it as a compliment and how I got to that, because it's not just random. I used to be having real deep, nice conversations with my ex-girlfriend, and it would be at night, and she constantly would fall asleep. It's something that happens all the time, and so at some point, like you speak, to, you know how you get into like you talk and then they talk and you talk and you're having a conversation, and at some point you say you say something, and you stop, you wait for the response, and there is nothing, and then you think like, did the line break? What happened? And you're like, hello, hello, and then you realize they fell asleep. And I used to like take it to heart, and I was like, why is she like, how am I boring to you? Like, what why are you falling asleep on me while we were talking, especially having these great conversations? And at first I didn't say anything because I didn't feel like it was too important. But when it happened over and over, eventually I told her like, I got mad. I was like, what the fuck? Am I boring to you? Like, how? Like, that's disrespectful. Like, I'm talking to you, we're talking, you're falling asleep mid conversation, right? That's what was my mentality. And the wind is really hard. I hope it's not killing the sound and you can hear me well. This might be a quick one because there is not much light. Might be a quick one today, but that's okay. We had an hour and 20 minutes. So anyway, her response was, she basically she was extremely tired because she was working and at school, like studying and working, and she had a very busy week, very busy days, and we would talk at night, and she would need to wake up in the morning, and this sort of stuff that I didn't consider because I was so like looking at like as if she did something wrong, and I was like looking for like I was taking the like I was doing like I was blaming her, and I was basically but that's the point. It was the other way around. I didn't take into consideration she was going out of her way to speak to me at night when she needs to be sleeping. She should be sleeping. She needs to wake up in the morning and go study and go to work, and she had a very long day ahead of her, and she would work like at nights too. Like, the point is, it was the other way around. She was putting a lot of effort to stay awake because she wanted to talk to me so much, and she wanted to. She would give up her sleeping and a lot of stuff, and she would eventually pass out. So I took it to heart, and it was the other way around. She really got, got out of her way to talk to me. She sacrificed herself, like her sleeping hours, etc., to talk to me. It was a compliment, and I took it offensively because of ignorance, because I wasn't looking I was criticizing her, and instead of trying to understand, I was criticizing. And that's how I learned this. And I learned, when I think about it, I learned so much from my two exes. I learned so much from stuff like that, from confrontations, from misunderstandings, from, all of those things, fights. I learned so much that, you see, I take these lessons with me throughout my life. And now when someone falls asleep, so if you fall asleep during my video, it must mean that, well, maybe I am boring to you, but at this point I don't. But the point is, I don't find it offensive at all. Like, for me, it's a compliment at this point. If my voice calms you down, if you can listen to me and like drift off, that's a compliment. I don't. So it's all how you take it. And if you remember, we talked about like how I came to visit. It was her. I don't know, but I came to visit her, and she thought, "Why are you coming at this hour?" And I was like, "I wanted to surprise you." And so it was flipped, like the exact same thing that she did to me. Like she would think that I'm inconsiderate because why am I visiting her when she can't? And I was thinking, I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna make you like. I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna make you feel good. Like I wanna do something fun, like And she took it the other way around. Like, why do you come visit me when I'm done working, and I need to go home and I can't stay? So she took it. So it was, and for me it was like a gesture of love. For her it was like, you don't give a shit. Like, why couldn't you like make an effort? Like she. So it was the same thing basically, but the other way around. And then we explained it, and then that's how you learn. But that's the point. There has to be communication, and there has to be. You have to look at the emotions as a sign, and as something that you need to learn from. I'm speaking a little fast, I feel like, and energetically. I don't know if this is what I'm trying to. I'm not gonna. I'm just very conscious, of my, and I'm trying to improve. And I watch this. I can tell all of the fuck ups and all of the things that can improve. And this is besides the video. I'm just saying, so you know. And so, back to the. So we were talking about this, how we misinterpret and how we misjudge, and if you stop and you notice, look at yourself from from a third person view, and you let the emotion, you stop the emotion, you start to think. You can. That's how you get real life lessons and wisdom, but it requires you to look inside and within, which is so hard. And we talk about this ego thing, an ego problem. I can add something to that, by the way, too. because it's so hard to deal with people that are, well, have a hidden ego. The people with the out ego, like with the grandiose ego, it's easier because you know what you're dealing with. But when it comes covenant, like a narcissist would treat you, like passive aggressive and like manipulation and like, and when you deal with someone like that who's so out, not in himself, so unaware, and his ego is so fragile and so insecure, how do you deal with that? Well, so I wanted to add to that the best thing I would say is listen to them, make them feel understood before you touch on that subject. If it bothers you, you need to be very clear with your communication. And because they are so fragile and their ego is so, this is the thing, they are so fragile that you have to be so careful when you tread with these people. If you know someone like that, just know that the way to get it, you have to be very clear about your communication and not let them feel like they're being disrespected, and not make them feel like you're interpreting, like, because they, as we said, with such fragile ego and such low confidence, anything can be interpreted. When you think the world is against you, when you see yourself as small and you try to look big, that's why where the ego comes in, then you will you take offense to a lot of things. You might hide it. And I know people like that, and they have defensive mechanisms. They will either aggressively, I don't want to talk about that, or they will start like being like disrespectful in a way, like, yeah, I'm not, or they will start making excuses. There's many defensive mechanisms. All of them are about protecting their feelings and what they feel like you're hurting their self-worth, which is why you have the real key to get to them is real clear communication about your intentions and what you're saying. But just know that it's not proof. Like you could fail. Like they might not, even if you're completely clear, they might still not accept it, because when you're in that place, it's coming out of your comfort zone. And some people are in there for their entire lives, and that change has to come from them. And so you could be meaning well and very clear in your communication. They will choose to misunderstand it still, because they're so used to it. Kind of like if you're smoking for 30 years, it's very hard to quit, because it's all you know, basically. But you can still do it. But it has to come from within you. So I would say, be empathic with these people and know that their emotions and replies and how they react is not personal. It's their own problems. And if it affects people around you or you, or get away, like, because they could be riding on you or using you in a way. I'm not trying to be, not in a evil way, not in a bad way. Like, they might be looking for conversation outside of themselves. I see it all the time, and you will hear it in their speech. They always say I. They always talk about themselves and also what But this is a specific. What other people, like this guy told me this guy, like they talk about how other people treat them, and like they look at the world like from how other people see them. They don't know themselves. That's the result of lack of courage to look within truly. And even if sometimes they might do and they still can twist it. So they will take intellect and turn it into wisdom in their mind. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but to me it does. So I don't know how I'm gonna call this video, because we're talking about the same stuff, just continuing. So, but how does it connect? Everything. It all goes down to your decision. So, if we are looking at this from an objective perspective, and we look at like the criticism and like jealousy and like all of those, jealousy. I mean the criticism and like people who try to bring you down, etc., etc., etc. Once you realize that you don't like it's them, it has nothing to do with you. You can be free of their influence. So you don't have to remove yourself from the situation. You can be there and not be influenced by it. So if someone is yelling at you, you don't have to get them like you don't have to care. You can look at them like this. Okay. Like you don't have to buy into that energy. So basically I'm adding to the last video, which was very long, and I needed to add this because I think it's important and emphasize it. So I will this will be a shorter video because the light is there's almost no light anymore, and as you can see, can you hear the birds? There is I didn't think of I didn't think of a subject per se. I was like, let me think. I just I'm so glad I went outside and like the birds. How can you not love this? You know. So you know what? I'm gonna continue on. So the reason one of the reasons I'm doing this right now, and as you can see, it's static. Uh, because I was given a criticism about yeah I was like about the shaking of the good criticism, the shaking, the lighting, like when you walk and like you know good shit, like good productive criticism. So I chose to do this like this. I will still keep making if I could afford this stabilizer or whatever, I would do like walking videos, but maybe in the future. That shit is way too expensive. But I feel like this is fun, a lot better, and I feel like I'm getting more fluent and better at this. And but I still have my doubts, you know. I will not lie about my calling, you know. In this, is this really like I will not. Actually, you know what? There is no reason to. It has nothing to do with this right now. I'm just my mind is going wild all the time. So that's an example of a criticism that I am implementing right now, and I feel like it turns out the best because uh, I was so low energy 20 minutes ago. I did something actively to gain that energy, and it worked. And I took that criticism and I'm using it to improve. And okay, so this is what I wanted to add. You don't have to like you don't have to accept it. The I did I know we touched on this on the earlier video, but I am doing this right now because I want to and because I feel like it could help, and I'm trying new stuff. But I want you to always remember one thing. The only this is really really important. The only person, the only one person who should be the final decider about you and what you do and how you feel and what you create and how you go about life and what you're doing should always be you. Always. So the last word, the decision is it has to be you. Like otherwise you're betraying yourself. And this connects to the what we talked about, the like narcissistic in a way, like ego-driven, low self-esteem individuals that will 100% first of all try to. I'm not trying to talk down anyone. I'm trying to. Hello, the little bird. I'm trying to teach about so that we can feel better about how to deal with situations. We're not judging anyone. We're trying to help. We're trying to be empathic. These little birds here. I feel like taking the camera and showing you, but maybe later. We need to finish this. No light left, so no rush. No. So the thing is, I keep. I will work on this, like staying on track. So the thing is, those people might enforce their views on you because they need your validation and the people around them for themselves, uh, and they can't accept criticism. That's their problem. What I'm saying by you have the last word and about you is why is it so important is because I could like if I took the criticism and I'm implementing it. Some of it I didn't. A lot of it, like most of it, I acknowledged it. I thanked for it. I appreciate it. I do. But at the you have to stay true to yourself and what you believe and how you go about things. Because once you don't want, like, don't let people tell you how to. This is mine. Like I had to keep like consciously I had to think about remembering. This is mine. Like I'm creating this. This is from me outside. So I will do it my way, and I will take criticism. I will take, and I will implement what I feel like is appropriate and how I want it to be. Because people will tell you, this is better, do that, do that. And you need to understand. Don't try to fit in. Because, well, I will give you an example. I was told like I should maybe do like cuts and then take all the best parts and put them together and edit it. that goes against my. I don't mind cutting and like, doing those stuff, but first of all, now I won't because it's too much work, and I'm not. It will make me like it will make this seem like work, and like it will push me away. Like I know myself. I don't want this to feel like an obligation, a task. I want this to be fun, and I hope that this start like this. I hope that someday I can literally meet. I want to be. I want to create a community of like-minded people. We can change the world, and I want to meet physically. I want to contact. I don't want this to be like I am like the YouTuber with followers. I want us to be a together community. You know, I want to be a part of. I am you. You are me. I'm not. I'm not trying. This is crazy sounding, right? But I'm thinking like, what if you have a million? Because this is how you should think. Like, think about where you want to get, and like, and act like it's happening right now, and manifest it right now. So if I have a million subscribers, right, which could never. I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but I believe I could get to a lot. Let's say. It doesn't matter. It's just for the sake of argument. I should act like it, and but I do not want it to feel like I am an authority, you know? I don't want to take away the power. I want to show you your power. That's the difference. Anyone who clings to power is a coward. You have to understand at the very basic level. They are cowards. Anyone who's looking for power is a coward. End of line. When you look for power, it's first of all, it's not real power. It means that you are lacking power, and the real power is the control of yourself and knowing yourself. That's how you grow real power. When you try to gain power over other people, it shows a lack of power over yourself, and it shows eventually at the core of it that you're just afraid to die. You're afraid of death. That's why you need this confirmation in this physical realm, because you're a scared little person. That's people who seek power. It's a weakness, and it's those are the pussiest people alive. Trust me. If you know someone who's pussy, like you might think, you look at these world leaders, and you're thinking confidence, right? You're thinking confidence, charisma, willpower. You're thinking like you look at them as powerful men. They are the smallest, the most scary little boys you can and girls that like when I look at, and I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, I'm telling you how it is. I'm telling you the actual truth. When I look at the world leaders, like I look at Donald Trump, or like Benjamin Netanyahu, or Putin, I'm looking at them and I see pussies. I see men who need the approval of everyone and need to be in control all the time and need to enforce themselves and what they think and how they feel on everyone just to feel like they're worth anything. They're like this, so scared of letting go, of not being recognized, of not being in control. So scared because they're pussies. They are like deeply. You don't get to that position, like unless there are. Of course, there is. We talked about this. Real leaders are not looking to lead. They're not looking to be in power. The real leaders do their obligation because they have to. And you know what? People who know this and know this intellectually, some leaders do, and they will tell you. They will tell you I'm doing this because I feel like it has to be. Like they take it out. They will lie. They will act like it has nothing to do with them, like it's something outside of them. They have to do this job because no one else will, all that bullshit. It's not true. You're not that important. You're not. Uh, you can be replaced. And when I say you can, I'm talking to 100% of everyone. You are not. I am not that special. You are, like we are all. We are, like, don't get me wrong. You are unique. You are a special individual. You are very. What I mean is, you are not. Don't feel like the world can't exist without you. Don't think like if you go, then the place will fall apart. Don't think it's all on your. You're not that important. Don't think like you are important just like everyone else is. You are the same as everyone else. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we are all the same. Just different parts of the same puzzle. You know how the fight between the left and the right, like it's the wings of the same bird. We're all the same. When you fight your brother because of his different opinions, you're fighting yourself. You're hurting yourself. So if you find yourself in need of being in a position of power, you find yourself that you want it for you. You find, if you look deep within and you find that, you need to look within and find out why is that, why that is, should I say. Why is it that you want this power? Honestly, really, why? What are you so? Why do you need to be in power? Why can't you let go and be and surrender to life? Ask yourself that, and know that the world leaders and everyone, like CEOs, like, they're all a bunch of pussies. They're the scary little boys. Never got over it. That's why they want to be in power. Anyone who does. The only thing I would, so real leaders are there honestly because they feel like there is something that needs to be done, and they feel like they will usually be driven there by other people. They will not create this, for example, like when you run for a presidency or whatever, and you advocate for yourself, you promote yourself, you pay for yourself, you get donations, you get everything is just so that you can be picked by everyone instead of how it should be, which is everyone like I want him to believe. That's a real leader. When people will call you out for what you have to say and give, and like they know you and they will tell you, I want you to lead me. It's not about the other way around, it's manipulation. When you like go on campaigns to try to convince people to choose you, that's the problem. And that's what real problem we have. We're choosing I don't know how we got this. We're choosing the most, the best salesmen, the best people who know how to present and lie, they're the best deceivers. We're choosing them because they're the ones best at manipulating you. Instead of choosing the honest and the guy we should be choosing that person that is like isolating like for 30 years and is outside of things, so he can see things clearly. When you look from outside on the planet, on anything, and you look from outside on yourself, on anything, it goes on any dimension. You look from outside, you can be objective. People who should lead us are like yogis, people that want to be alone, isolated, don't want to be in a position of power, want to be left alone with their soul and like experience this great, crazy experience that we have here, this three-dimensional. That's the people we want in power. People who don't want it, people who want to be left alone, those are the smartest people, and they are the courageous people because they have the courage to look inside and do it persistently and all the time. And and they grow, and that's the spiritual people, but the real ones, not the fake gurus. And on that note, I'll see you next time. And before I go, I don't know if you can even see me at this point, but before I go, I just wanna make sure you can hear the birds. Like, oh, there is one. Look at it. Look, it's a bird. You know what? If you know what bird this is, hello. If you know what's this bird, you can comment. And I'm talking to myself, of course, because I have zero. Oh, yeah. They're talking. Yeah. So, how do I? Okay. And on that note, I'll see you next time. I'm Kronos. Goodbye.